Buildings are going vertical on the campus of Eli Lilly. A lot has happened and is happening, but believe it or not, the project is only 2% complete. Todd Dando and Jeff Wagner from Fluor Corporation join us for episode 166 of the Love and Lebanon podcast. Fluor is doing the construction and Jeff and Todd share the progress. 450 employees are on site with nearly triple that number on the way. How does it all get managed and what steps are being taken to limit inconvenience? They'll tell us. Episode 166 of the Love and Lebanon podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Love and Lebanon podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to loveandlebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, hello and welcome to this latest episode of the Love and Lebanon podcast. I'm Joe LePage and I am the Community Development Director here with the City of Lebanon. We spoke with these gentlemen back, I looked at the date, August 22nd. That's of last year. That was episode 130 of our podcast. Several days, weeks, minutes have passed, and we've got Todd Dando and Jeff Wagner here with us on the podcast once again. Todd is the construction director with Fluor Corporation, and Jeff Wagner is the community relations and communications manager. Guys, thanks for being here with us once again on the podcast. It wasn't bad enough to keep you away from coming back.
Not at all. Not at all, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, for having us back. It's our pleasure.
A great pleasure to have you guys with us. And looking at the number of topics that we have to chat about, there's so much info. There's so many things going on. Looking to the northwest portion of our community, you guys are really making that 600-acre LEAP campus, that Lilly area really pop. And as they say, things are going vertical. How are things going right now? As you look out to the northwest, you're seeing some action happening out there.
Yeah, Joe, this is Todd. Quite a bit of activity since we last spoke. I can't believe that was August. It seems like just yesterday. But we've made good progress. It was tough progress, a lot of great partners on the job. We made it through a pretty wet, cold winter.
Did it rain every day? Every day since we recorded this? I mean, it feels like it had. I mean, it was just
quite a bit of rain. That the dirt collects moisture and it gets very muddy out there. But like I said, our local trade partners are doing a fantastic job. A lot of great craftsmanship here in central Indiana. We wouldn't be where we are today without them. As you drive down the highway or down the adjacent roads, you will see a lot of vertical construction. Steel is progressing well, and that'll continue for about another year. We're really focused on the Cub building now, and we'll branch out to the peptide, small molecule, and several other vertical structures. So good progress for sure around steel. As a community, you can expect to see a lot more concrete as well. We'll be pouring concrete foundations, and we'll go into slabs. So a lot of concrete trucks and steel trucks in the near future.
And how do you guys deal with just kind of the overall psyche of it all when it's raining so much and you guys have all those check marks that you want to hit and be able to move at such a quick pace? When Mother Nature throws you curveballs, how do you guys keep that positive momentum going throughout a huge process like this and such a large project?
Yeah, I'll start, Jeff and Joe. So, a big one that I learned early in my career, and we've met several times with the Central Trade Council, the unions here in town. Nothing goes further than paved parking lots and walkways. The crew likes to stay as dry as possible, mud clean as possible. Obviously, when you get into the forms and into the dirt, you're going to get a little bit muddy. But we try to provide a nice paved area to where they can keep their boots as clean as possible. And then we also provide a canteen. The canteen is a warm, weather-controlled area. They can get out of the rain, have some warmer climate control in the canteen, so they can enjoy break or take their lunch. So, but when it comes down to it, they're tough craftsmen. They're out there slogging through the mud and making it happen. And the little things that we can do, whether it's a breakfast, a lunch, or a warm climate, we try to provide.
And it's one of those things, too, that as many workers that are out there right now, things are going to be ramping up in a major way, going from about 450 folks to even maybe doubling and then some. How do you guys go about juggling the extra number of workers that are going to be out there, Jeff, to be able to kind of keep that process going while adding more members to the team on site?
Well, I'd say the road improvements have gone a long way to help get people onto the site and also off the site. But we're also ramping up, the number of canteens that are available. We're really framing up the turnstiles and all that infrastructure that's needed to accommodate the large influx of people. Working on the food program right now so that we have a good lunch, so we can have keep the workers on site while they're there, and a good lunch at a good value. So we've got a number of things that we're doing just to as a site building up in anticipation of those 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 marks that we're going to be hitting here in the near future.
And that's been one of the impressive things that I've seen is that with all the people that are going to be on site, you're talking about the canteens, and those are places for folks to grab a bite and have some quality food. You guys have brought the food to them to not only make it easier on those employees that are there, but also keeping them on site so they're not on area roadways, further congesting things for every other person within the community trying to get around. That was done by design, right? Doing a little strategic action there to kind of maximize both the employees but also the residents?
Yeah, correct. Knowing that the road infrastructure is what it is. And while the improvements have taken place, the fewer vehicle trips back and forth to the site, the better for everybody. So we definitely want to make it as attractive a job site, as Todd said, and also get as many of the great local vendors, food providers involved with feeding our team.
If we can talk about some of the infrastructure, the road upgrades and things along that line, what other things that we're kind of forecasting a bit, road improvements that we can expect here in the not too distant future around the campus, Todd?
The roads are being improved by the outside of Fluor scope, outside of Lilly scope. The state, the county, the city are doing a great job keeping up with it. They keep us well informed on deliveries and what we do, or on installation. And what we do is we try to coordinate best we can on traffic flow, so personal vehicles coming to the site, and also material deliveries. And that will only compound over time. So that close communication between the county, the state, the city, everybody doing work in that area needs to be closely coordinated to minimize the amount of traffic impact that we make in the community.
And I think in the next month we'll have Gate A open to our north, which will provide another access point for deliveries for our workers. Right now, all traffic comes from the south into what we call Gate C there at the corner of Witt and 375, County Road 375. So having that additional access point was really going to be big for everybody, and like I said, it's going to mean less traffic in some areas, at least temporarily, and then everything will continue to grow as the project grows.
Everybody, we're talking with Todd Dando and Jeff Wagner. Todd is the construction director with Fluor Corporation, and Jeff Wagner is the community relations and communications manager as well. Dumb question. I think I know the answer as well, but with all that construction traffic, the best thing to do is to maybe not go super fast and trying to duck in and out of construction traffic if they're going around. They may go a little bit slower. They may be loaded down with heavier things, but the best mode of that transportation might just be to give them some space.
Yeah, I think what we tell our employees and partners is assume they don't see you. They have a large vehicle. They have large cargo that typically blocks vision or impairs vision. So assume they can't see you. And if that means you have to go a little bit slower, we certainly would appreciate that from a project perspective and keeping the community safe. And then another one that I'll highlight is, from time to time, we do have workers that are late to work, and they might speed down the neighborhood, or at the end of the day, they may be late getting home. Please, we've had a couple instances where people have reported car makes or even license plates. Send that in. We have hotlines and websites, and please reach out to us. Let us know if we're not treating your community the way that we should. And no absolute promises, but we will certainly follow up and do everything we can to provide a safe community.
And everybody, what Todd's talking about, and the phone number and things like that, to be able to do that. And that's amazing. I didn't realize that was even a thing, everybody. But I'll put all that information in the body of this podcast. You can see the email address, the number you can call, a way to get email updates sent right to you, also signing up for text alerts. But that's amazing, Todd, to be able to say we want to be able to be a good neighbor that way, having the neighborhood even kind of police itself, so to speak.
I think we've had two very positive experiences where they just tipped us off. We were able to go talk to the individuals and make some corrections. So please, feedback is good.
Be respectful of our neighbors as you leave. We try to get everyone just to slow down. And in fact, in March, we had a special safety meeting where we invited members of the 4-H and the local Purdue Extension to come out and talk to our workers about safety around farm equipment, and knowing the spring planting was coming up. And we did the same thing in the fall, but now that our workforce has grown, wanted to make sure we shared that with the additional teams. So to be aware, those that aren't from around the area, no safety on the road with a combine or a planter, other pieces of heavy farming equipment.
And as we're recording this, everybody, the next installment of the newsletter that is being sent out, all the things kind of we're talking about here, is about to go out. We'll put a link to that on here as well. So the things that Jeff's kind of talking about there with Safety Week, all that's highlighted in what I'm looking at right now, the newsletter installment that's about to go out. But other things that you guys have done in the community, I mean, there's a laundry list of ways that Fluor is getting integrated and being able to give back. There's the Kiwanis breakfast there, the Stone Eater Bike Park, the ribbon cutting that took place, all those things, upcoming chamber golf outing. It seems like Fluor has really entrenched itself in the community in that way. And oh, by the way, the Battle of Barbecue's coming up. I know, Jeff, that's one of the things that you look forward to from last year's participation. But the integration in the community, that this is all things you guys are just putting down some deep roots. And
yeah, there's nothing more important than community engagement with Fluor. We have the privilege to build facilities like this really around the world, and one thing that is consistent is that community engagement. If we're not good neighbors, if we're not part of the community, it's not as special for a lot of our team. I think I'll highlight Joe as a boiler maker, boiler up. One of the strategies and community give back that I'm most proud of is our intern program. We have 6 active Purdue interns, and we actually have a couple from South Carolina, Clemson University. And to watch them engage in the project, learn from others, just the visual learning that they're able to do on the job site, I'm already seeing that it's paying back. And then from a selfish or from a Fluor perspective, a couple of the interns have already hired on with Fluor long term. So it's a program that I'm very proud of, and a lot of people put a lot of hard work into it, and certainly thankful for Purdue University supplying such great students.
Jeff, I didn't hear a hammer down after he said boiler up, and it wasn't going to come from me, but I know in the room is there is a list. Everybody, I didn't share the entire list, but I mean all the things that you guys have really gotten into. Being selfish myself, one of the things that we talked about before we hit record, you guys have on-site collections, and if you don't mind helping educate the audience here, what are those and what do they entail?
Well, we know, our company is always willing to write checks and do things like that. But we as, the team here want to be involved. And we found some really great organizations to partner with. And probably the most recent one we had a food drive right before the Easter holiday. And I think we collected 700 pounds of food. So
Wow.
That was really cool. Dropped that off to the Caring Center. Last week we had Safety Week, and I had a couple of employees come to me about a month or so ago, say, "Hey, we'd love to do a blood drive. What do you think?" And I'm like, "That's great, but you've got the volunteers ready to run with it right there." And I said, "Hey, if you'll do that, we'll bring it onto site." So we did that on Tuesday, and we had 27 donors total. We got cut a little bit short because of the tornado watch that came through.
That'll
so we
tend to
lost
do that for you.
the last hour of it. But again, what they liked was all the blood stays local. It's through the local Versetti campaign. So we've done that. We've got a school backpack collection planned for this summer. So kind of in the middle of summer, and get those to the schools right before the start of the school year. So a lot of these are all driven by our employees, and they're just wanting to give back. And that's what we enjoy as a company, to be able to do that, along with obviously Lilly, very important in driving these as well too. So again, our goal is during the construction phase to really blend this, give a good running start when the campus is up and running in a few years. So
why do that? Why is that the motivation? Because the low hanging fruit is writing a check, that's the easy part. But there's so much more to this list, everybody, of sweat equity and coming up with ways. Someone came to you with the idea for a blood drive. Why do it in this way?
I just think we got good people that like to be involved.
Yeah.
They like to work hard, but when they're not at work, or when they've got some time, love to just be part of the communities where we serve, and very happy and proud to be part of Lebanon. So that really comes across with our people.
We have a lot of long-term Fluor employees. I've been with Fluor for 25 years, but then we also have people that are brand new that we just hired here locally. And the mix is pretty powerful. That I know on other projects similar to this, what we've done, and then those local hires that we've brought in from the immediate area, they know what is in need. And when you can apply those to experience with local need, good ideas come up. And then like Jeff said, the drive is there. Corporate participation and funding is always there, so it's just a good way to run projects.
And I imagine it's pretty infectious too, to be able to work for a company that wants to do that and laud someone that would bring up an idea for a blood drive and wants to look for ways to help out. You guys feel that too, where it's just kind of an enduring thing and people want to kind of gravitate towards a company that does that?
Today, the workforce is much different than when I started, and you get a lot more worker input, and the ability to express yourselves in ways like giving back here. And like I said, it's just fun, and we got a good team. I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie across the project, and just to be able to channel that in different ways is something we have fun with.
And everybody, we're talking with Todd Dando and Jeff Wagner of Fluor. Todd is the construction director, and Jeff is the community relations and communications manager. And another thing that gets me, guys, is the fact that you stress local so much. You guys, we kind of talked about your partnership with the Boone County Economic Development Corporation, kind of hosting some sessions. You guys have stressed the use of local food vendors and local folks wanting to be able to give back there. Can you talk about other things that they're going to be kind of local focused? Are you guys going to do the Battle of the Barbecue again this year? Is this something that you're looking forward to? The smile on your face is hilarious, Jeff.
Absolutely. In fact, we've lined up one of our engineers, Chase Weidman, who's once again agreed to lead our group. But I don't know, Todd, as far as buying local, you could talk certainly about, when it comes to the construction piece of it. And then we've got can talk
a lot of local angles. You guys are stressed the local side, not just from the food and the yumminess side, but also the construction.
I think it's important. Really, we live here for 3 years of our lives, right? And many people will eventually probably stay here, right? There'll be enough continuous work on the campus out there that we'll have very long-term people. But I know myself, I have an apartment here downtown, and I enjoy going to the local restaurants and meeting some of the local people. And it's just, I think it's important to be a part of the community.
As we kind of round the corner here, guys, what advice the future holds, the next steps, all those things as we start to kind of look and cast a vision towards the future?
Well, I'll say from a communications front, we'll continue to put out the newsletters, keep the website updated, put out construction updates to let our fence line neighbors, because we do have fence line neighbors, keep them in the know when things are coming up that could affect them. Want to be certainly good construction neighbors in that front, and offer ways that they can reach out to us should they have questions. I think we've developed pretty good relationships with our neighbors, especially either the north or the south. There's not too many on the west with the interstate, and to the the east you got the railroad tracks and we're toward 39. But we want to make sure there aren't any surprises, and we know that as we grow, things are not going to be perfect. There are going to be issues, but want to make sure that we do everything we can to either mitigate those or communicate those in advance, as part of our mitigation programs. So want to make sure that's always our focus.
Mm-hmm.
I think an important number is 2. We are 2% complete. So we had the governor out in April last year, and it's now May. We broke ground in May, so we've been going for about a year. A lot of underground, a lot of dirt moving, some concrete foundation, some steel, but that all equates to about 2% complete. We have 98% to go. We, as you said earlier, we're about 450 on site. We still think we're going to be right around 3,000. So the work's ahead of us. And I think the relationships, the communication structure that Jeff mentioned that we have in place is going to be important, because there are going to be times where we don't do our part. And I would ask everybody listening, or your neighbors, hold us accountable. Let us know if we're not meeting our end of the bargain, and we need to get better someplace. Let us know, and we will work on it. There's no absolute promises. It's a tough industry. It's a tough job. We've got a big responsibility that we owe to Lilly, and we're going to deliver that, and we'll deliver it the right way. Make sure everybody in Lebanon is aware of what we're doing.
Todd, Jeff, thanks for your insight. Really appreciate you joining us here on the podcast. Let's not wait another 6 months to have you back. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for all you do, and you coming in and being part of this.
Yeah, I'd love to have you come out sometime too, Joe, to hop in a buggy and take you around the site.
Oh, I'd do that in a heartbeat for sure. Absolutely. And the things that we talked about, holding accountable and the text updates, everybody, again, I'll put that in the body of the podcast. You don't have to write while driving or anything like that. It'll be right there on the screen. You can click it, you can hit it, you can have those text alerts delivered right to your phone and have it come right to you. So we thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Love and Lebanon podcast. We'll bring you more episodes in the future. For Jeff and for Todd, take care, everybody.